Hello ladies and gentlemen, so today we're going to look at application problems for linear systems in two variables. Some materials you're going to want, your notes, pen or a pencil, and then you're also going to want a calculator today. So for each problem, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to be able to say, first to identify the variables. That means we're going to be able to say x equals y equals. So we're going to want to figure out what are the two things that they're talking about. And I'll show you how I usually find those in a little bit. Then you're going to write a system of equations to model the situation. So they're going to give you a story problem more or less, and you're going to have to create the equations that they're asking based on what they're giving you. Then we're going to need to solve the system just like we've been doing the last few days. This one, Corey has $24, more than twice as much money as Stan. Together they have $150. How much money does each have? So for part A, remember, you're always going to kind of look at this bottom, the last question they ask. How much money does each have? So they want to know how much money does Corey have and how much money does Stan have. So let's make that our X and our Y. X is Corey's money, and Stan, he can be the Y. So that's Stan's money. So let's figure out some equations here. They say Corey has $24 more than twice as much money as Stan. So Corey, that's X, and Stan is Y, just kind of figuring it out here. And Corey has 24 more. Well, I know that that must mean that I'm going to add 24 on. So let's say X equals 24 plus, and how are we going to put Stan in there? We know that Corey has twice as much money as Stan. Twice is a key word for times 2. So I know Corey equals $24 more than twice as much money as Stan. Then I need one more equation, and they say together they have $150. So Corey and Stan together must be $150. So if I take Corey's money and I add Stan's money, I have to have $150, right? That's pretty much what they're saying. Together they have $150. So now I need to go to my solving phase. I already have X solved for, so why don't we just use that and plug it into the bottom equation? So wherever I see an X in the bottom, I'm going to put 24 plus 2Y. So I have an X, so I'm going to put that right away. Add on Y equals 150, so I finished the rest of my bottom equation here. Looks like I got some Y's to combine. I have a 2Y and a Y, so let's add those two together. Get myself a 3Y. Solving for Y now, we're going to first subtract 24, that's right. And 150 minus 24, it's 126. Dividing by 3 should be our next step. And that should be $42. So it looks like Stan has $42. Let's figure out how much Corey has, because they want to know about each of them. So let's plug it in. I'm going to plug it into the bottom. So X plus 42 equals 50. That should be a 5 right there. There we go. Solving for X, let's subtract 42. We should get X equals $108. Now, this doesn't make any sense. X equals 108 and Y equals 42. So this is when that statement of answer is going to become very important. So X equals Corey. So we know Corey has $108 and Stan has $42. That's exactly what they're asking. It's best to put it in actual words for the answer, just so we have an actual answer that makes sense. Alright, so let's look at this problem. The bill for 5 glasses of apple juice and 4 salads is $9.50. but the bill for 4 glasses of apple juice and 5 salads is $10.30. How much does a glass of apple juice cost? So, very first thing, we're going to do part A, and we need to figure out what's X and what's Y. So, I'm going to read the last question here. How much does a glass of apple juice cost? So, we're going to be talking about the cost of 2 things. So what does this problem talk about? What are the 2 things that this problem references? That's right, we're talking about apple juice. And we're talking about salads. More importantly, we're talking about the price of each. So let's make some equations that relate this. So let's begin reading our problem again. The bill for 5 glasses of apple juice and 4 salads is $9.50. So 5 apple juice and 4 salads is $9.50. So let's figure out 5 apple juice. How can I relate that? I know X is apple juice, so 5 apple juice must be 5X, right? And 4 salads, so 4 salads, and I still know salads is Y. So for Y, and they say that is $9.50. So let's set it up like that. And then they say the bill for 4 glasses of apple juice and 5 salads is $10.30. So 4 apple juice, 4X, and 5 salads, 5Y equals $10.30. Now, this one doesn't have a very easy way to solve. We're going to have to go to elimination. I use elimination. I find I get less fractions that way, and I don't like messing with fractions any more than you do. So, I'm going to cancel my x's out. I'm going to multiply the top by a -4, because I notice I do not have a negative at all in this problem for my x's. The bottom, I'm going to multiply by 5. Like that. There we go. So, -4 times 5, that should give me a -20x. -4 times 4, that's a -16y. -4 times 9.5, that should be a -38. If you try that on your calculator quick. 5 times 4, that's going to give you 20x. 5 times 5, 25. Forgot my plus in the middle there. And 5 times $10.30 is 51.5. Now let's add the 2 equations together. So 20x and -20x are going to cancel. -16 plus 25, that is 9y. If you try that on your calculator quick. 51.5 minus 38 should be 13.5. And then solving for y, our first step should be to divide by 9 and 1.50. So I know salads cost $1.50 each, but they wanted to know about apple juice. So I need to get x now. I need to find what x is. So I'm going to plug into the top equation. There's no reason why I'm doing the top one. Just chose to. So I have 5x plus 4 times $1.50 should be $6. So I'm going to subtract the 6 from $9.50. We get 5x equals $3.50, just like that. Divide by 5, get my x alone. We should get $3.50 divided by 5. That should give you 70 cents. So to answer their question, apple juice costs 70 cents. Oops. The last problem. A movie theater charges $5 for adult tickets and $2 for a child's ticket. One Saturday, the theater sold 785 tickets for $3,280. How many children's tickets were sold for the movie that Saturday? So this is a classic system problem. And you're going to see this a lot with tickets and plays and stuff like that. So very first thing, let's say who's X and who's Y. So let's look at that last equation, shall we? How many child's tickets were sold for the movie that Saturday? So I know X is going to be children tickets or child's ticket. And then what's the other one that they're talking? What's the other kind of object that we're talking about in this problem? Adult tickets. We're talking about adult tickets also. So that's going to be our X and our Y. Children tickets, adult tickets. So this one we're going to look over here. We know that's $5 for adults and $2 for kids. Do we have the amount that they totally raked in for this Saturday? We do, right? We have $32.80 for the total amount. So for each child ticket that we bought and for each adult ticket, we made $3,280. So it's $2 for a child. So that would be 2x for all the kids that came. Plus children or adult tickets cost $5. So that would be 5y. And the total amount of money I'm going to get is $3,280. Now, what's the other equation that we can make? What else do we know about this? What's the only other number we haven't used? Yeah, that's 785 tickets. Well, I know X is the total amount of children tickets we bought, and total number of adult tickets is Y. So, children tickets plus adult tickets should be equal to 785 tickets. So let's do some elimination on this problem. So I'm going to multiply the bottom by -2. Cancel out my x's. And I'm going to get -2x minus 2y equals -1,570. X's have canceled. It looks like I'm left with 3y, 1,710. So now let's divide by 3, get that y alone. We get y equals 570. That's the amount of adult tickets that we sold that day. So now let's figure out how many children tickets. So let's pop it into the bottom equation. It's the easiest numbers to mess with. Solving for x, I need to subtract 570. And we should get 215. So to answer the question, how many children's tickets? 215 children tickets were sold. That's the end of the video. See you later, Sabers.